あなたが隣にいてくれるだけで、僕は普段の何倍も頑張れるからね。
Hotel guest room.
フィクマンでの仕事を2日も早く終わらせるなんて、私たち本当によくやりましたね。
Kiki flops onto the hotel bed with a proud huff. You and Kiki were on a business trip to Fickerman, a renowned country of commerce, to work on a case. Yeah, it went better than I thought. Salazar even praised us for our efficiency.
本当ですか？なら、年末のボーナスも期待しちゃっていいですかね？
No, I think you can look forward to it.
やったー！
Kiki jumps up in excitement at your reply. She swiftly approaches you with a telltale expression.
そうだ！仕事が早く終わったということは、先輩のスウォルト旅行の日程も当然早めるんですよね。
Yep, I've already changed my tickets.
もうですか？さすがはラブラブカップルというか、少しでも早く会いたくて仕方ないって感じですね。
It's not as bad as you put it out to be. Despite the words that come out of your mouth, you can't help but admit that you do miss Vin after half a month of not seeing him.
すみません。もうからかいませんよ。ただ、日時を変更したことは、もうお相手にも伝えてるんですか？
No, I'm actually thinking of surprising him, so I only informed his friend.
驚きました。やはり愛の魔力って凄まじいですね。私の恋人は仕事だからって言ってた先輩が、今となっては懐かしいです。
Never mind, I'm going to go pack my bags. Seeing the flustered look on your face, Kiki decides to let you off the hook.
はいはい、わかりました。私も手伝いますよ。
In all honesty, you hadn't planned on going to Sport to visit Win when you first came on this business trip. That day, you and Win headed to a restaurant after he picked you up from work. Cafeteria.
フィクマンに出張？
Yes, I'll be gone for about half a month. This case is a little complicated, and I've never handled this type of case before, so it's a rare opportunity for me to get some practice.
うん。気をつけて行っておいで。
I'm not going to be able to see him for a half a month, but why does he seem relatively unfazed by it? Seemingly sensing your innermost thoughts, Vin expresses a soft smile before speaking.
実は近々、僕も仕事の関係でスウォルトに帰る必要があったんだ。そしてあなたの出張先であるフィクマンは、偶然にもスウォルトの隣にある。
What a coincidence!
うん。せっかくの機会だし、気分転換も兼ねて、仕事が終わったらスウォルトに来てみないかい？
But aren't you going there for work? Won't I be bothering you if I drop by?
僕たちの仕事が終わるのは大体同じ時期だろうから、問題はないと思うよ。
Well, even though there will not be any scheduling conflicts, you still feel a slight flicker of hesitation pass through at the thought of going to sport. Vin doesn't explicitly say anything, but you can tell that his childhood in sport wasn't exactly a happy one, based on many other indications. Maybe I should ask him to come down to Fickerman instead. Perhaps having caught on to your worries, Vin lowers his head closer to you, a faint smile playing at the corner of his lips.
あなたの気持ちはよくわかるよ。でも、スワルトは観光地としても悪くないと思う。ひどく商業化されたフィクマンと比べて、スワルトには昔ながらの建築物が多く残されていて、文化や風習もしっかりと受け継がれているからね。それに、スワルトで合流した方が少しでも早く会えるだろうし。何より。
After all, Vin looks into your eyes, gently replying.
半月も離れ離れになるなんて、僕には耐えられそうにないから。
Then I'll head over to Sword once I'm done on my end.
うん。待ってるよ。
After you pack your luggage, you place the train ticket and other necessities in your carry-on bag. You then check again to ensure that you haven't forgotten anything. It's about time. I should go downstairs and wait for the taxi.
私も下まで一緒に行きますよ。
No need. I don't have much luggage on me anyway. You should take a break. You deserve it.
わかりました。ではお気をつけて。
Station. Around 2 hours later, you arrive at a station in the north of Sword. Despite being neighboring countries, you feel as if you've stepped into a completely different place compared to Fickerman in terms of atmosphere and all. The design of the train station is mostly retro style, but it is also imbued with a lot of modern elements. From multilingual navigation to smart map setting being available, this place is very accessible. Amidst it all, you have a strange feeling, as if space and time had interwoven with each other.
お久しぶりです。
You are still marveling at the design of the train station when you hear a familiar voice calling out to you. Thank you for coming to pick me up, Mr. Weishler.
いえ、お力になれて光栄ですよ。
He takes your luggage and leads you through the sea of people. In the train station, there are many people in the crowd dressed in hunting attire. They were all gathered around in small groups, chattering happily about one thing or another with smiles on their faces. These people,
おそらく、ウミル祭りの大会に出場されるハンターたちでしょう。ただ、彼らはすでに1回戦で敗退していたと思いますが。
the Umir Festival, hunters. Seeing the curious look on your face, Oja Weishler smiles.
気になるのでしたら、坊ちゃんに尋ねてみては。
Vin, don't tell me he's participating in it too. Oja Weishler nods. A sly look flashes past his face.
その通りです。ちなみに、坊ちゃんが大会に出るのは今回が初めてですが、すでに注目選手の一人になっています。この時間だとそうですね。ちょうどウミル広場で決勝前の練習をしている頃だと思いますよ。
He looks at you with an indescribable smile.
よければ今から行ってみますか。
It's better if I don't. It will only distract him from his practice.
そうですか。でも、あなたが顔を見せたら、坊ちゃんはきっとお喜びになると思いますよ。それどころか、より素晴らしいパフォーマンスを発揮できるのではないでしょうか。
Of course, Alker. It's such a rare opportunity. Though I'm not sure if I'll be disturbing him.
大丈夫です。会いに来たのがあなたでしたら、坊ちゃんはむしろお喜びになると思いますよ。
The Saying so, he shoots you a meaningful look.
いかがなさいますか？
Alright, little bit then.
かしこまりました。
Ymir Square. Ojo Vashla parks the car outside of a wide square. The fences in the area are decorated with the same assortment of flags you saw back at the train station. You peek inside to see many people dressed in Svart's traditional attire crowding beneath a giant projection screen and watching the live footage that was showing on screen. The crowd cheers as the image on the screen changes.
坊ちゃんは訓練場の方にいるはずですから、このまま行ってあげてください。
Alright, I got it. Wait, huh? Aren't you coming with me?
ええ、すみませんが、この後まだ用事がありますので、お先に失礼いたします。
What other business is he tending to? I'll see you later, Mr. Weshler.
ええ、また後ほどお会いしましょう。
Training grounds. After seeing him off, you follow the signs and make your way past the giant screen and into the forested training grounds. Perhaps due to its unique location, there aren't many people here. All the hunters seem to have blended into the forest mid-hunt. They have chosen their location based on their own experiences, waiting for their prey to appear. Where's Vin? You wander the edges of the training grounds in an attempt to find him. However, your view of the area is mostly blocked by trees. Just as you are about to give up, a familiar figure suddenly makes an appearance before you. Vin, decked out in hunting attire paired with a fitting bow and arrow, looks like an elfish prince right out of a fairy tale. The sunlight tints his hair a faint gold. His long, slender fingers draw the broad bowstring, and the breeze plays at the tip of his hair. On the other side of his horn and sharp gaze is a flock of birds mid-flight. He focuses on them, shutting out all other noises from the surroundings. You hold your breath, unable to take your eyes off him. He stands before you now, both familiar yet not quite. Does he plan on shooting those birds in flight? That's going to be hard. An arrow flies out before you, cutting through the air and heading straight for its mark. Everything happens faster than you can process. Before you know it, Vin has already shot 3 birds with a single arrow. Your gaze returns to Vin's person. The corners of his lips lift in a faint smile as the crowd cheers. Vin! You softly call out his name. You know that your voice will no doubt be drowned out by the cheering crowd in an instant. However, Vin seems to have sensed your presence. He swiftly turns, meeting your eyes. A look of surprise flashed across his eyes.
え？どうしてここに？
My work ended earlier than expected, so I came here to look for you.
ここだとゆっくり話せないから場所を変えようか。
Hillside fields. You both head in the opposite direction of the training grounds, entering a field path in the warm winter sunshine. It was a vast open space where the air was crisp. Snow-capped mountains are abundant in the distance.
早めに来るんだったら知らせてくれればよかったのに。
Because I wanted to surprise you.
確かに素晴らしいサプライズだったよ。ありがとう。
Vin gently embraced you, his familiar scent enveloping you. His actions were gentle and affectionate. Paired with half a month of not seeing him, you find your hands clinging onto his back to hold him tightly.
会いたかった。
Vin bluntly confesses right by your ear. No matter how many times you've seen him like this, you can't help but be enamored by it. Actually, I've missed you too. You both embrace each other. Although unable to see each other's faces, you can tell that he's hugging you much tighter than usual. After a long while, Vin finally lets go. Right, I heard from Mr. Wechsler that you're participating in the Umir Festival competition.
そうだよ。ウミル祭りはスウォルトの伝統的な祭日で、今日はそこで行われる大会の最終日なんだ。
Why didn't you tell me about this before?
あなたは仕事で忙しそうだったからね。僕が大会のことを伝えたら気を使わせてしまうと思って。
That's true. Seeing your slight hesitation, Vin gently steers the conversation in another direction.
でも、せっかく来てくれたのなら、一緒に参加してみるかい？
Me? I'm aware that some countries still have the custom of hunting, but Sensing your concern, Vin smiles and explains.
ウミル祭りの狩猟大会は過去に行われていたようなものとは違い、会場で狩るのは本物の動物ではないんだ。
They aren't, then.
うん。説明すると少し長くなるから。ひとまず、ウミル広場に戻ろうか。
Umir Square. You both return to Umir Square. Unlike what you previously seen here, the place has been quickly arranged to cater to outdoor dining. Before you is a long table covered in a white cloth filled with scrumptious-looking food. Waiters bearing drinks walk through the crowd with smiles on their faces. The giant screen in the middle of the hunting grounds replaced the scene of Vin's archery prowess from earlier. This is when you realize that the birds that he'd shot down earlier disappeared in the moment they hit the ground. The birds disappeared?
うん。あの鳥たちは科学技術によって作られた偽物で、狩りが成功するとそのまま消失するんだ。午後の決勝戦に出てくるスウォルトジカも同様で、外観や行動パターンは限りなく本物に近いけど、あくまでも対象はダミーだよ。
It's just like a VR game.
確かに似たような技術の応用だけど、VR ゲームとは違ってあれらはただの幻影で、ハンターは弓矢でしか目標に干渉できないんだ。
Vin has explained a lot about how the hunting goes, but it is all Greek to you.
すまない。説明ばかりで退屈だったね。ほら、手を貸して。
Okay. Vin holds onto your hand, drawing you into his arms as he leads you to a crouched hunting hound. It didn't seem to appreciate being approached, baring its fangs. You instinctively refrain from attempting to pet it.
大丈夫。僕を信じて。
With Vin's reassurance, you kneel before the hound and slowly reach out toward it. The hound is instinctively tempted to snap at you. However, your hand passes right through it, ghosting past its brown fur. Who could this be? I can't touch it, but it looks so real.
この子も映像。フェイクだからね。
He plucks out an arrow from nowhere and hands it to you.
今度はその矢羽で触れてごらん。
Following his instructions, you use the knocking point to gently poke at the hound's ear. It twitches at the intrusion and swipes at it with a paw. It feels something, but how?
仕組みの説明をすると少し複雑になるんだけど。まず、 この矢は特別に作られたもので、いわばハンターと獲物を結びつけるための媒介だね。それから決勝戦に出てくるスウォルトジカもこの子と同じ巨像なんだけど、彼らはリアルな鹿の習性を模倣し、本物と同じように行動してるんだ。
This means that the hunters, although these animals are fake, the test they pose is real.
その通り。あなたもこの大会のことがよく分かってきたようだね。
Vin looks at you with the golden light flickering in his eyes.
それで僕と一緒に参加してくれるかい？
Of course, this was fun, and it feels much more realistic than playing a VR game. Don't hesitate to tell me anything if you need help during the competition. Vin doesn't reply, only training his eyes on you as he gradually moves in until his lips are millimeters away from your ear.
なら一つだけお願いしようかな。
What is it?
大会が始まったら僕だけを見ていてほしいんだ。
Of course, isn't that a given? But I don't think I'll be able to be of any help. I think I'm better off as a spectator. Upon hearing that, Vin smiles and approaches you. His lips stop millimeters away from your ear.
いや、ちゃんと役に立ってくれると思うよ。
Oh?
あなたが隣にいてくれるだけで、僕は普段の何倍も頑張れるからね。端的に言うなら、好きな人の前でカッコつけたい。より完璧な自分を見せたい。そう思ってると考えてくれていいよ。
Then let's do it together.
うん。それじゃあ今から主催者のところに行って、あなたを同伴者として登録してもらおうか。
Okay. Vin leads you to the organizer and explains the situation. The organizer, on the other hand, seems unfazed by the sudden addition.
では、こちらにお名前を入力してください。終わりましたら私の方でヴィルヘルム M さんの同伴者リストを更新しておきます。
Mr. Wilhelm M. I seem to recall that his surname was Hausfreund. Sensing your confusion, Vin leans down to your ear and explains in a hushed whispers.
これは大会のために用意した偽名だよ。
But why?
僕はこういった場にあまり顔を出さないから。顔だけなら見られてもそう気づかれることはないと思うけど。ハスプランという名字はスウォルトではかなり有名だからね。それだけで目立ってしまうんだ。だからこうして名前を変えるだけでいろいろと楽になるんだ。
He's worried that others will be influenced by his identity. You nod and fill in your name on the tablet that the staff hands you before tapping on the confirmation button.
はい、これで大会へのエントリーが完了しました。狩猟免許をお持ちではないので弓矢はお貸しできませんが、ヴィルヘルムさんの指導の下でなら彼の装備で簡単な狩りの体験までは許可いたします。
Thank you.
もうすぐ大会が始まりますので、森での活動に備えてこちらが用意した専用靴にお履き替えください。
Alright, thank you. After changing into the lighter shoes, you set out with Vin. Hunting grounds. All the contestants have gathered by the edge of the forest. Once the whistle goes off, all the hunters enter the site. You are about to follow the crowd when Vin catches hold of your hand, deliberately heading down a more secluded path. Vin, this road seems to deviate from the organizer's recommended route.
確かにそうだね。でも僕の記憶によればこの道の方が獲物と遭遇しやすいはずなんだ。
You've hunted here before?
うん、そうだよ。7歳くらいの頃だったかな。僕は毎年この森で狩りをしていたんだ。
No wonder you're so familiar with the route.
この道なら他の参加者とも遭遇しにくいから、狩り本来の獲物との駆け引きをより体験できると思うよ。
Predator-prey relationship. Although Vin has explained it to you beforehand, you still can't help but find it all a little odd.
そうだね。さっきも言ったけど、正体が作り物であったとしても、彼らは本物とほとんど遜色のない動きをしてくるんだ。
You mean they will fight like how it will be if everything was real?
その通り。実際に傷を負うことがないということ以外、彼らとの優劣関係やお互いの弱点に至るまで、何一つ現実と変わらないよ。
Both of you walk across the dry grassland. There is a refreshing scent amidst the crisp air. Everything he told you seems novel. It is as if it was real, yet something only seen in a fairy tale. And what weaknesses do the sword deers have?
彼らは俊敏でたくましい肉体を持っていて、わずかな危険を感じただけでも逃げてしまうくらい、かなり警戒心が強い動物なんだけど、実は生まれつきの近視で遠いところがあまり見えていないんだ。
Huh? If so, then wouldn't it be easy for them to get?
うん、そうとは限らないよ。
Huh?
スウォルトジカの視力は確かに弱点だけど、その分彼らは聴覚と嗅覚がとても鋭いんだ。それに視力という弱点が、いや、彼らにとってそれはもう弱点とは呼べないか。
Vin speaks halfway and stops abruptly. He lapses into a moment of thought before slowly opening his mouth to speak again.
視界がぼやけているからこそ、彼らはより警戒心を強め、優れた知覚能力で遠方の危険から身を守っている。つまり、持っている全ての感覚を駆使して周囲を警戒し、敵が行動するよりも早く反応することで、自身の生存率を大幅に上げているんだ。
Turning disadvantages into advantages, wouldn't this make it hard on us as they are enemies?
そんなことはないよ。むしろそのくらいじゃないと、駆け引きとしては成立しないからね。相手にも自分にも優劣がある互角の状態だからこそ、スキルや忍耐力、そして策略の重要性が顕著になってくるんだ。反対に、獲物が弱い存在であった場合、ハンター側に哀れみや同情などといった余計な感情が生まれてしまうこともあるから。
In other words, the relationship between hunter and prey is actually a mutually beneficial relationship.
うん。間違ってはないと思うよ。
You and Vin continue talking as you both head deeper into the forest. The sunlight grows fainter as you tread deeper into the forest. You both forego talking and proceed carefully. However, the sword deers are very cautious. Most of the time, they fled, disappearing from your sight before you can even get close.
大丈夫かい？少し休もうか？
Nope, I'm fine. The sword deers are really cautious.
そうだね。でも正直、今の彼らは必要以上に警戒しているような気がするよ。それこそ、なりふり構わず逃げ回っているみたいにね。
Escape?
うん。考えられる理由はいろいろあるけど、この森に彼らの脅威となる動物がいるか、あるいはメインルートのハンターたちから逃げてきたのかもね。
What should we do then?
ひとまず先に進もうか。
Okay. However, after a long while, you and Vin still turn out with nothing.
ここらで少し休憩を取ろうか。
Vin points to the lake in front. The water sparkles under the sunlight. Nodding, you are just about to sit down when you catch sight of movement from the forest clearing on the other side of the lake. You quickly grab onto Vin's arm.
どうしたんだい？
Look over there. There's something over there. Vin turns in the direction you're pointing to. A fully grown swart deer leisurely walks out of the coverage of the bushes. As regal as a king, it lifts its head listening to the surrounding sounds. It then shakes its head and lowers it to the forage to forage for food. It looks so elegant.
あれは普通のスウォルトジカとは違う。鹿の王だね。
A king?
角を見てごらん。オスのスウォルトジカの角は普通茶色いはずなんだけど、あの鹿は金色でしょ？
You closely observe the deer in the distance. The sunlight shimmers through the gaps of the forest canopy, shining upon its golden antlers. Looks like you're right. What's the difference between stags and the king?
いいや。王は通常よりも大きく、反応もずっと早い。それに、ある程度の攻撃性も備えてるから、捕らえるにはかなりの腕が要求されるだろうね。それともう一つ。王にはとても珍しいという特徴があって。僕の記憶が正しければ、あの鹿を仕留めたハンターがそのまま優勝者となり、すぐに大会が終了するんじゃなかったかな。
An instant win? The reward's so great. I assume it must be terribly hard to hunt. Vin? You glance at Vin, who is in front of you. But despite your worries, his eyes shine with newfound eagerness as if this was the prey he'd been waiting for.
一緒にあの鹿を狙おう。
Me? You are a little overwhelmed by his sudden invitation. No, the king is of such importance. Were you to lose it because of me?
でも、見つけてくれたのはあなただよ。それに、僕がついている限り、外すなんてことはありえない。だから信じて。
Vin looks at you. His golden eyes are filled with confidence, making it hard for you to not believe him. Okay, let me try.
ありがとう。それじゃあ姿勢から調整しようか。まずはもう少し両足を開いて。
Is this enough?
大丈夫。じゃあ次は弓を掲げてみようか。
It's a little crooked.
平気だよ。ちゃんと調整してあげるから。
Vin draws you close, holding your hand and helping you adjust your position.
右腕が少し高いから、ちょっとだけ下ろして。いいね。それじゃあ矢はず。矢の端の部分を鶴に乗せてみようか。完璧だよ。
Vin softly whispers each step into your ear, his gentle breath brushing against your neck from time to time.
次は僕と一緒にゆっくりと弓を引いて。手は痛くない？
No?
ならよかった。あとはこの姿勢を維持して放つタイミングを待つだけだよ。
Time ticks past, but Vin doesn't give the green light to shoot. Gradually, you feel your grip getting a little shaky. Can I let go?
待って。あと少しで射程範囲に入るから。それまで辛抱してくれるかい？
Okay. Vin plasters himself to your back, most likely to provide support and reduce the strain on you from standing for such an extended period. Finally, the deer in the distance takes a few steps forward. It raises its head, warily surveying its surroundings. You hold your breath for fear that it may be aware of your presence. It instinctively stiffens.
そんなに警戒しなくていいよ。この距離なら僕たちの会話も聞こえてないと思うから。
You relax and give him a slight nod. The deer king lowers his head, returning to his grazing.
よし、今だ。大丈夫。落ち着いて。僕が3つ数えたら手を離す。いいね。
You nod. Vin smiles, looking towards your quarry and making final adjustments to your posture.
3、2、1。
You release your grip and send the arrow flying toward the unsuspecting prey with a whoosh. Before the golden antlered prey could react, it had already been shot. It glows golden before dissipating into nothingness. In its place is the sharp sound of a whistle signaling the end of the competition, followed by an announcement that rang out in the air like something right out of a 3D surround sound system.
お知らせいたします。ただいまをもちまして、海る祭りの狩猟大会は終了いたしました。参加者の方々は広場にお戻りくださいますようお願い申し上げます。
It is just as Vin had said before, hitting the Deer King ends the game. He smiles at you.
それじゃあ、僕たちも戻ろうか。
Okay. Umir Square. You both return to Umir Square. The screen in the center occasionally switches between the live footage scenes of the forest. The audience gives both of you resounding applause upon spotting your arrival.
ブラボー、ヴィルヘルムさん、お嬢さん。本当に素晴らしい狩りでした。会場の皆さんもお二人の活躍に歓声を上げていましたよ。休憩を挟んだ後、授賞式を執り行いますので、今しばらくお待ちください。
During this time, many of the returning hunters come out to the both of you in a steady stream to offer their congratulations. All of them instantly praise Vin's archery skills. However, none of them seem to have realized his true identity. They treat him as if he were an ordinary hunter. Neither of you can escape the enthusiastic crowd till it is time for the award ceremony. Feels like everyone's really excited about this.
うん。何せ海る祭りにおける優勝は、スウォルトの人々にとってとても大きな意味があるからね。
What meaning? Vin looks at you with a helpless smile. He then begins to explain.
この国の気候はかなり厳しくてね。建国当初は毎年冬になるとよく食糧難に陥っていたんだ。王室はその対策として全国から優秀なハンターを招集し、集団での大規模な狩猟を決行した。そうして取れた食料が王室により民へと配られ、国は何とか冬を乗り越えることに成功したんだ。その後、一番多く食料を取ってきたハンターが王室から表彰され、栄誉ある報奨を与えられることになった。だからこそハンターという身分はスウォルトでは英雄的な立場として認識されているんだ。
So, this idea of a hero is now being placed on the winner of this competition?
うん、その通りだよ。感情転移の典型的な例だね。
Although Vin feels helpless about how enthusiastic the crowd is, he doesn't repel it. You can sense the respect and approval he holds for the Umir festival traditions. I think Vin really does love his hometown, setting everything from the past aside.
それでは皆様、ただいまより海る祭りの授賞式を執り行います。どうぞお席にお戻りください。
An announcement resounds in the square, and all conversing hunters promptly return to their seats. You look towards Vin. The award ceremony is about to begin. Let's head there as well.
そうだね。
The stage where the award ceremony is to take place isn't actually much of a stage, rather, it is a clearing. An old man who seems to be well respected by others hand wins the
お
trophy.
めでとうございます。ハス。いえ、ビルヘルムさん。実を言うと昔から私はあなたが素晴らしいハンターに成長すると思っていましたよ。
ありがとうございます。アレンさん。
Vin accepts the trophy. Then a staff member walks up bearing a gift box upon a red velvet lined tray. Cheers erupt from the crowd. For some odd reason, you feel as if their excitement toward the prize triumphs over the trophy itself.
こちらはあなたの優れた弓術を認め、その腕をたたえた王室からの贈り物でございます。
Alan gives you a meaningful look while he hands the prize to Vin. He then turns back to the audience.
以上をもちまして、今回の海る祭りの狩猟大会を終了とさせていただきます。続いてですが、ビルヘルムさんはもちろん、私たちの期待を裏切ったりはしませんよね。
Having said that, the audience in the square breaks out into yet another round of cheers before rushing forward to surround you and Vin. And what are they doing now?
早く商品を開けるよう催促しているだけだよ。
His answer only serves to confuse you further. He opens the gift box that holds the prize under your surprise gaze. Much to everyone's surprise, the prize turns out to be an artistically crafted emerald bracelet. Vin, who has been standing before you, suddenly extends his hand towards you amid the cheers of the crowd. Vin?
これも伝統行事の一環だから、そう緊張しなくてもいいよ。ほら、手を貸して。
Okay. Blushing, you give him your hand. He tenderly helps you put the bracelet on. However, you are just about to withdraw your hand when you realize that Vin isn't very keen on letting your hand go. You watch as Vin lowers his eyes with a slight nod. He gently presses a soft kiss to the emerald sitting upon your wrist. Vin? While you are trying to wrap your head around everything, Vin holds onto your hand and takes you away from the stage as the cheers of the crowd continue resounding from behind. Vin, what are they cheering for?
僕たちを祝福してくれてる。とでも言っておこうか。
They are blessings for us. Vin nods. A rare flicker of nervousness passes his eyes. He glances at you for a while before looking away. His action is like a smart child who knows the answer to a question but cannot tell. I never knew that Vin had such an adorable side to him. Guess I'll just have to ask you about it later, Dr. Richter. Before you know it, you've already left the hunting grounds and reached an elegant-looking manor. Unlike the hunting grounds that has a perpetual chill in the air, the manor, basking under the soft glow of the setting sun, holds an unspeakable warmth. What a beautiful place! Vin laughs warmly. There is a hint of nostalgia in his eyes.
ここは僕の祖母が残してくれた庭園なんだ。スウォルトに滞在している間はここの家に泊まる予定だけど、それでもいいかい？
Vin rarely mentions his family around you. Other than his parents, this is the first time you've ever heard him talk about his grandmother. Of course, I'm glad to be able to stay in a place where you used to live.
それじゃあ中に入ろうか。この時間なら多分、王子が夕食の準備を済ませて待ってると思うから。
Okay. Hall. Vin takes your hand in his as he walks into the manor. It looks completely different on the inside with its luxurious and elegant furnishings.
坊ちゃん、お嬢さん、お帰りなさいませ。海る祭りでのことはお聞きしました。お二人ともおめでとうございます。
Thank you.
夕食の準備はすでに済んでおります。誠に勝手ではありますが、今夜はスウォルトの代表的な料理をご用意させていただきました。もちろん、お嬢さんのお口に合わなかった場合も考慮し、ステラ市で馴染みのあるメニューもお作りしておりますので、ご安心ください。
So, the business that Mr. Wechsler had to tend to earlier was preparing dinner. Thank you, Mr. Wechsler.
いえ、これも私の職務ですから、お気になさらず。
オジェ、今回の大会の映像についてだけど、会場の方に少し手を回しておいてくれないかい？あまり大勢の人に見られたくはないからね。
かしこまりました。
Having said that, Ojo Wechsler gives the two of you a slight bow before turning to leave the room.
それじゃあ、僕たちはダイニングに向かおうか。
Yes. Dining room. You walk into the dining room to find the long table laid out with flowers and many mouth-watering delicacies. The chandelier and the candlelight complement each other, adding a romantic touch to the long-awaited dinner. Vin pulls out your chair and gestures for you to take a seat.
今日は疲れたでしょ？
Not at all. The thought of being able to see you much earlier than planned today makes me feel rather energetic, actually. But did I interfere with your original plans by coming here early?
確かにそうだね。あなたのために用意していたサプライズが予定よりかなり早く登場してしまったかな。
You prepared a surprise for me? Vin smiles and nods. You look at the emerald sitting upon your wrist, recalling how everyone back at the hunting grounds reacted. A thought pops into your mind. You participated in the Umir festival just to win the prize, right?
うん、その通りだよ。
But why? Emerald bracelets might be made of precious stones, but it isn't all that uncommon. With Vin's capabilities, getting such a bracelet shouldn't be a hard feat. Why must he insist on joining the competition? As you are deep in thought, Vin slices a piece of meat and places it onto your plate. Thank you.
とりあえず食べてみて。続きは食べながら話そう。
Okay. You pick up the piece of meat that Vin placed on your plate, put it into your mouth and chew slowly.
海る祭りの大会では、あのトロフィーはもちろんだけど、スウォルトの王室から贈られる商品もかなり注目されてるんだ。
Is it because it is custom made by the royal family and thus of extreme importance? Vin nods, helping you fetch a dessert at the far end of the table.
ただ、それはあくまでも理由の一つで、何よりも重要なのは、使われている宝石が全てスウォルト産であるということだね。
I seem to remember there being many precious stones in Sword.
それら鉱物資源のおかげでスウォルトは少しずつ繁栄していき、次第に冬の食料不足に悩まされることもなくなっていったんだ。そしてハンターたちの黄金時代はそんな工業の発展により過去となった。
In other words, this emerald bracelet is a bridge between the past and future.
その通り。だから僕はあなたが初めてここを訪れた記念としてそのブレスレットを贈ることにしたんだ。
His explanation is solid, but you still find something strange when you think about what happened at the hunting grounds. But you should have more reason than that to participate in the Umir festival, right? Otherwise, the spectators back at the hunting grounds wouldn't have reacted as they did.
あなたの勘は正しいよ。確かに理由は他にもある。
Who?
スウォルトの伝統によると、ウミル祭りで勝ち取った商品を意中の相手に送るというのは、
He pauses to give you a meaningful look.
僕のすべてをあなたに捧げるという約束をその相手に誓うことになるんだ。ちなみに僕はあえて伝える気はなかったけれど、あなたの性格だと僕が話すまで自分で調べ続けそうだったからね。
He's right. If he hadn't told you about it, you would have continued seeking answers. But why didn't you want to tell me?
単純な話だよ。相手に自分の全てを委ねるようなこの約束は、今の僕たちの段階ではあまりに重い。たとえ僕が本気でそう思っていたとしても、その場の状況に流されたり、すぐに結論を出すようなことをしてほしくはないんだ。じっくりと時間をかけて考えてもらった後、僕に全てを委ねてもいいかどうか、あなたの口から聞かせてほしい。
Vin watches you with a gentle, determined light shining in his golden eyes. Vin. Hearing you call his name, he slowly stands and approaches you, gently lifting your chin. What?
じっとしてて。
You obediently close your mouth. His face draws increasingly closer as you are enveloped by his faint woody scent. Swart's cool winter winds howl outside as the crackling of the fire in the fireplace sparks a thought in your mind. Don't tell me Vin's planning on. You involuntarily close your eyes, your heart thumping wildly in your chest. After a while, you feel something lightly brush your lips. That touch. You open your eyes to find Vin looking at you with a mischievous smile.
うん。あなたが唇につけていたジャムは、また随分と甘いね。
You should focus on eating and stop trying to poke fun at me.
でも、僕が言ったことは全て事実だよ。
His action swiftly disperses the tense and serious atmosphere from the previous conversation. Complicated and passionate emotions brew in his eyes, pulling you both into a sweet atmosphere. The fire in the fireplace burns bright and the surrounding air grows hotter. Vin, you...
夕食を済ませた後、
What about it?
キスしてもいいかい？
How is he saying all of this with a straight face? I don't know. You lower your head, purposely refusing to look into his eyes.
急がなくてもいいよ。スワルトの冬の夜はとても長いからね。答えが出るまでゆっくりと考えてみて。おはよう。時差ボケは大丈夫？よかった。荷物を片付けてたら、あなたの手袋を見つけてね。気づいてなかったんだね。お揃いのを買ったから、わかりづらかったかな。ステラ市も冷えてきたから、僕が届けに行こうか。いや、迷惑じゃないよ。むしろ嬉しいかな。家まで送ってから、もう6時間も会ってないからね。何せスウォルトで過ごしていた間は、毎日一緒に生活してて、 離れなかったから。だから急に別居に戻ってしまうと、とても寂しくて、あなたのことを考えてしまう。まさか、僕がこんなことを言う日が来るなんてね。あなたも同じならすぐに行くよ。もちろん、もし疲れてるようなら明日にしても。すぐに会いたい。わかった。今行くから待ってて。